like to quote something that someone quoted today, and I'd like to say it was from Paul. And I'm firmly very much looking into the people that are saying that Paul was a false apostle. And yeah, he gave a lot of wonderful sounding things. But in hindsight, where did it get the church? And where is their soaking, by the way? Remember they had that trend about soaking? You're soaking in all this beautiful stuff. Well, why aren't they piping up about what we're all soaking in now? Why aren't they complaining loud? Because they love Paul. Paul makes them, listen to this from 1 Corinthians 16, 13, 14. Be on your guard. Stand firm in the faith. Be courageous. Be strong. Do everything in love. Now let me compare that with something Jesus would say. Stand firm in the faith. Jesus wouldn't say that. He would say, shake the dust of your feet and keep moving. Maybe you have to take everything into context, but can we be fair and say that Paul is just very vague? And it can be misconstrued. And if you stand in the firm, where did Jesus say stand firm in the faith? Be courageous. Be strong. Well, Jesus never said be courageous and strong. He said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are they who, etc., etc. He didn't say be courageous, be strong. In fact, poor in spirit. The Greeks, when they used the word spirited, were like the military and the courageous part of man. That's what they would call the spirited part of a man. And Paul is saying the opposite here. And then he says, finally, do everything in love. What the hell does that mean? Jesus said, love your neighbor. Just like in the story of the Good Samaritan, who's your neighbor? First of all, the guy who bailed that guy, who helped the guy on the side of the road. But when he said, love your neighbor, and the apostle said, well, who is my neighbor? He said, who do you think was the neighbor to the guy that was beaten and robbed? It was the Good Samaritan. So you love that guy. You don't love the guys that just walk past you and ignore you. You love the guy that was good to you. That's who your neighbor is. But then you got Paul coming in hot. After Jesus, he wasn't one of the 12 apostles. They replaced Judas with Matthias, and he never witnessed Jesus in person. He saw a blinding light on a road to Damascus, which was found to be a safe haven for Christians. It was never a dangerous place for Christians. It was safe. So his whole story about the blinding light experience, a lot of his stories don't check out, and they go with the cult of Mithras, with this blinding light stuff, and so on and so forth. And the early Christians were afraid of him. They didn't know what to make of him. But you see, thousands of years later, we can help the early Christians who died thinking, what the hell, oh, Paul's great, what Paul's good, Paul's not good, we don't know what to make of him. I think I know what to make of him. He sounds a lot like today's manifestation. Do everything in love. Love wins. Rainbow power. Rainbow this. Rainbow that. So Jesus would say, what did Jesus say about love? He said, love your enemy. Pray for them. In other words, you do you do an action in the moment. You don't just talk about it. If you're talking with somebody and they give you your coat, you carry it 2 miles. He didn't say love them. He just said you carry that coat. Totally different gospel between Jesus and Paul.